We should talk about Phil. Also,
Yeah, Phil. Big
in
Phil.
it, along with the Phil Rivers stuff, like Cam Newton said it was like a slap in his face that like
I'm literally
Philip
watching the Cam
Rivers.
Newton video right now. I want to say that he would be so good at drag. He should get into drag. Being a
Oh yeah,
drag being a
you
drag
should
queen.
say
He's
that
so
on the show.
he's
Um,
so funny. Folks, welcome in to another episode of Force Takeaways. We've got a fantastic episode for you today. A lot of football happens, and a lot of football is going to happen. Okay. Joined with me, as always, by my side, virtually, is Mr. Jake the Snake. How are we doing today, Jake?
hey, let's just say, buddy, this snake is in the grass. If you know what I'm saying.
Hope it's not velvet grass. Have you ever seen the videos of Snake on like velvet and they can't get traction and they can't move and they're just like slithering around with not moving an inch? It's so cool looking. I hope that doesn't happen to you.
No, it's not velvet grass. It is whatever this weird grass out here we get in Arizona is. It's sod. I'm feeling good, baby.
Sort
We're
of
doing
dusty.
good. We're a week away from Christmas. I know for a fact my wife is getting me a gold chain, so I'm gonna be like a gold chain white guy here in 1 week. So that's gonna be cool. I'll
Time.
send you some pictures.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Speaking of gold chain white boys, Nick Sirianni led the Eagles to a shutout victory over the formerly Oakland Raiders, formerly Los Angeles Raiders, currently Las Vegas Raiders. Doesn't matter where they are, they suck. They
Oh.
got booty blasted by the Birds. You picked against them, as you often do during this sort of semi-crisis of season they've been having, even though they are in first place in their division and still pretty much Super Bowl favorites, one of the top Super Bowl favorites, I believe, in the NFC at least. What were your thoughts following the game? Did you watch it? How did you feel about it?
So I did not watch any of the first half. I put it on. My wife and daughter went to run a couple errands, and I was going to get my little run in before I took my daughter to the park, as is our Sunday tradition. I watched like maybe 5 minutes of it while I was getting dressed. I saw a Saquon Barkley touchdown. I saw the score, and it was like I saw Zach one interception too. That was cool. I didn't really pay attention to it. I was like, good, whatever. Maybe they're better if I don't watch, so I'm not going to watch this Saturday. I have better things to do with my life, I'm like happy that they like won. The fashion in which they won, right, is also important to talk about. Look, I know they're playing the Raiders, first overall pick getters, very bad team. They're playing with their backup quarterback, Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett, former Philadelphia Eagle. But this defense, man, that was my takeaway. My big takeaway is this defense is elite. Yes, they were playing a very bad, shitty team, but they held them to 75 total scrimmage yards, which is like the first time in 20-something years that has happened in the NFL. They had a shutout, first time for the Eagles since 2017, which they won the Super Bowl that year.
Hello.
This defense, they're getting healthier. They're looking elite. They're awesome. I think they're probably the best defense in the NFC, especially now that Micah Parsons is hurt. As long as they stay healthy and productive, that's a Super Bowl defense right there, man. The story from the Chargers game should not have been, 5 turnovers from our starting quarterback. It should have been 7 sacks by that defense.
Yeah.
They're an elite unit. I'm feeling real good about them. I liked what the Eagles did on offense. They looked good. They had better efficiency numbers, especially on first and third down, which is important. They were really successful out of under center. They still only ran 4 under center play action plays, which is like, to give you context, like a quarterback like Caleb Williams or Matt Stafford run between like 14 and 20 under center play action plays per game. They were attacking the middle of the field, ripping it up the seam, something that Jalen Hurts doesn't really do often. Dallas Goedert was heavily involved in this game. He had a big game, and this offense looks awesome every time you get Dallas Goedert involved, a lot and early. A real recipe for success. I do want to push back on Nick Sirianni leading a win. He didn't do shit.
That was just a
Fangio did.
segue I did
I
because
know,
of
I know.
Gold Chain.
But yeah, they did what they were supposed to do. They handled a shitty team, like an elite team should. I was totally, in my heart of hearts, expecting this to be like, a 17-12 win where they have to get like a stop, like a goal line stop to win the game. Because that's how things have been going for this offense. They put it all in the defense all the time, and the defense is always so gassed. But they move the ball well. Defense is elite. I'm happy. If the defense stays healthy, that's a Super Bowl unit. I'm excited about that. They have a pretty easy schedule moving forward. They play the Commandos twice. They played the Buffalo Bills, and I believe they also play. Who is their other opponent? We got Commanders, Bills. Let me look this up real quick. I've scrubbed. I knew this like 2 weeks ago, but I've scrubbed. Okay, yeah. So it's just the Commanders twice and the Bills. They have 3 games left. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think that they could easily win 3 of those games. If they go 2-3, awesome. Get like a 2 seed at best, I think, unless the Rams completely fall off the rails, which is possible if the Seahawks do their job tonight. So it's all about just hoping the Eagles win out and like something disastrous happens to the Rams, maybe a Stafford knee injury, something like that. I'm not cheering for that. What I'm saying is, if that happened, I would feel better about my team's chances. I would never root for an injury unless it was like like a bad guy. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch, maybe I won't. But yeah, I'm just excited that it's almost Christmas and I'm going to be getting a gold chain and then making a little magic for my daughter.
Yeah, I have an inkling that I may or may not be getting a Broncos jersey for Christmas from someone.
Ooh, what player?
From someone close to me. I'm not quite sure.
Do you know what
but
player?
I have some intel. Don't know which player. Don't
Give me
know
a
which
short
style
list.
of jersey. I'm thinking. I don't even want to really give it away. Just
give me
in case
3 players who you want it to be.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, but give me your top 3 current Broncos you'd like a jersey for. Benito?
Surtain, Benito, and Sutton, probably.
Nice. It's Surtain's not hurt, is he? I saw him go down.
No, he's not hurt. He played. He had a couple of really crucial catches late in the Packers game. Oh, but I was gonna say in a playoff without Mahomes or Parsons, it kind of widens the field. I mean, Mahomes eliminated even if he hadn't gotten injured, but the Micah Parsons injury, of course, that occurred during the Broncos game, has wide-ranging ripple effect throughout the NFL. It kind of strips the Packers of their Super Bowl aspirations, unfortunately. I think they're still obviously a good team, but they were viewed as like a mostly above average team before the Parsons signing, and then when Parsons got signed, people were like, "Oh my God, they're at least gonna challenge for a Super Bowl title, if not the NFC North crown." And now that's in danger, as they are going to be playing the Bears this Saturday. The Bears they are already in first place. They could like cement their. I'm not sure what the clinching situations are. I don't know if they can fully clinch on Saturday if a bunch of other stuff happens.
Yeah.
Maybe, but they'd be in the driver's seat for sure, being up a couple of games against the Packers for the lead. The Packers have that tie, which is going to make everything all fucky. But just the NFC in general, you could put the Packers aside. It's the Rams, which kind of everyone's betting favorite. The Eagles right up there for me. People include Seattle as well because how good their defense is and how good the offense has looked with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Sam Darnold. Me personally, I'm not betting on Sam Darnold to excel in the playoffs just based on what I've seen in years past. It's up to him to get over that and to prove me wrong. If they can make a run and he can show that he doesn't falter when the lights are brightest, I'll change my tune. Until then, my money's on either like a Rams-Eagles NFC title game, and I would give the edge to the Eagles because of their.
You're just saying that because I'm here.
No, for real. I mean, besides Seattle, who in the NFC is a real threat to make, let's just say, the title game, NFC title game?
I honestly think the Bears are very good. And the 49ers. I think they're getting slept on a lot. And they're both
Okay,
in the playoffs today. If the season ended today, right?
true.
Um, I think the Bears are good. They've already laid um, a little roadmap on how to beat the Eagles. They know how to do that. They've done it pretty successfully too. Um, Niners are just the most resilient goddamn team
Yeah.
I've ever seen. Incredible what they've been able to do, and I don't know. I think there are so many good coach of the year candidates this year. The most wide open it's ever been. It feels like. Um, but you got to put Shanahan, I think, in that number one spot. As much as it pains me to say that, sorry, no offense, Anthony. I know the Shanahan family has brought you much joy. Being a Denver Anthony's fan, but um, man, just what they've done with all the injuries and all the adversity, and how they've schemed around the loss of so many players on defense, and made their offense more interesting, and how they just plugged Mac Jones in there, and Mac Jones honestly probably earned himself a contract from another team as a bridge quarterback, right? If the Colts decide to move away from Daniel Jones, maybe they bring in a little Mac Jones action. They get the younger Jones in there. They're jonesing for some Mac.
They're
Um,
jonesing.
maybe he's
Keeping up with the Joneses.
gets a little 2-year deal with the Vikings, maybe the Steelers. I think he's proven himself worthy of being a starter in this league after what he was able to do, stepping in for Brock Dumbface Purdy. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the NFC field is a lot deeper and more competitive than one would think. The Lions are kind of on the bubble. They're 8-6 this year, but they have played much better than an 8-6 team, I think. They've also suffered, a lot of injuries, but ever since Dan Campbell took over that offense, it looks great. Some weeks it looks pretty pedestrian, but yeah, I don't know. To answer your question, I'm with you, Rams and Eagles. I think the way things are shaping up for the Eagles, that they are definitely a Super Bowl threat, um, given the defense that they have and the way their defense is playing. But I think you got to put the Bears and the Niners in that conversation. Bucks don't scare me. Seahawks, just because it's Sam Darnold, doesn't really scare me. Really good defense, though. Packers, I would agree, are probably, unfortunately, not it this year.
Yeah, Buccaneers not really scaring me. The thing about the 49ers, I just don't know if they really have the horses to compete when it would come time to play, let's say, either the 49ers Rams or 49ers Eagles in the playoffs. There's a lot great coaching can do to hide stuff in the regular season or to scheme through stuff. But in the playoffs, I just think their weak areas would get totally exposed by a team like the Eagles or a team like the Rams. Who knows? They could make a surprise Super Bowl run just based on their offense alone. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, obviously,
And
the
their
best
coaching alone,
player on
too.
the field in almost every matchup they're in. Yeah, coaching will definitely, not saying he's cheating or he's gimmicking his way. He's obviously a great coach, and we have seen him coach great in the playoffs, but this version of the 49ers, boy, it just feels like a long shot. But it's hey, they're right there at 10 wins right now. I wouldn't want to play them. And as far as the Bears, I think they're more likely of a non-Eagles or Rams team to appear in the NFC title game because of their defense, because of their opportunistic ball hawking secondary that could come up huge in the playoffs. Obviously, they have no real pass rush to speak of, but
Secondary is nice.
Secondary is really nice.
Their offense is crazy too. Their offense can just flip a switch.
They've been so fun to watch the past few weeks. It's just with everything coming together. They do have a couple injuries this week, I believe, but yeah, in a playoff setting, that would be really cool. Do you want to talk for just can I have a little bit of soapbox about the Bears' new stadium sort of fiasco? Now that we're talking about the Bears for just a moment, so
there's something about Indiana. That's what I was reading.
I just want to read a little bit from this. Is just clearing some stuff up. This is from a Chicago Tribune article by Robert McCoppin and Dan Petrella. Thank you for their reporting here. So yeah, the Bears sent a letter to I got this email. I got an email from Kevin Warren because I went to the training camp one time. So I'm like signed up to their email little system, I think. And it's basically this letter from Kevin Warren being like, yeah, we're trying to make the Arlington Heights thing happen. We really want it to happen, but we're exploring all their options, including Northwestern Indiana. And, people are reacting to it. And in this article from the Tribune, they point out this is not the first time they've done this. They teased a move to Gary in 1995 that went nowhere. But basically the background of this, and this is from the article, Warren had wanted to break ground on the new stadium in 2025 and finish the 3-year construction in time for the 2028 season. The plan is contingent on the General Assembly. I think that's like the city council for Arlington Heights, letting them negotiate its long-term property taxes with local schools and other taxing bodies. Governor J.B. Pritzker, has expressed openness to the state paying for infrastructure costs, but said it's up to the Bears, who are valued at nearly $9 billion, to pay for their stadium. Despite the team having the oldest and smallest in the NFL, Warren said, state leaders have told the Bears that their project will not be a legislative priority in 2026. The legislation would cost the state nothing and could apply to any mega project like a stadium, large factory, or corporate headquarters, but Chicago lawmakers have resisted the measure, with Pritzker and others suggesting the team should help pay off more than the $500 million debt they still owe from the renovation of Soldier Field in 2003. The debt was supposed to be paid off by the city's hotel tax, but that hasn't made a dent in the amount owed. The team is under no obligation to pay the debt, other than its yearly rent of about $7 million, which is nothing, and an $84 million penalty if they leave in 2026 before their lease is up in 2023. So people are simplifying this to being like, this is just them trying to negotiate, them trying to get leverage by not having the taxpayers fund the stadium. They're actually not asking for taxpayers to fund the stadium. I think what they're asking for is to be like, to get a seat with lawmakers, to be in the room and negotiate their own tax levels alongside teachers and firefighters and stuff. And I think the state is being like, we've run out of patience with you guys. You've been doing this will they, won't they moving thing for almost the whole time I've lived here, kind of, it feels like. And it's more than just they want it to be taxpayer funded. They want to dictate the terms of their taxation. And it's like, you still owe so much for this other renovation. They're just not going to budge. The state has all the leverage. This is a weak leverage tactic. He even says in the letter, it's like a Tim Anderson sketch. He even says something like, oh, and by the way, this is not leverage. This email is not about leverage, okay? We're simply saying, it's like, I don't know. Bears fans should not be worried at all that the team is going to move to Gary or Hammond, Indiana. What they should be a little bit afraid of is that the ownership is showing that they still have a little bit of that failure stink on them. This is the conversation we're having about the Bears. They're about to have the most important regular season game they've had, certainly since I moved here in 2018, probably in the past 2 decades. This is the biggest Bears game coming up in a really long time. And they decided to just shit out this little turd real quick in the middle of the week to get everyone being like, what? It's so disappointing.
No, don't leave.
Yeah,
don't.
But nobody's buying it. I've already seen the Chicago media response to it, and pretty much all the sports radio guys, the newspaper guys, the blog, podcast guys, they're pretty much all being like, yeah, shut up. Fuck you. It's billionaires versus state lawmakers. It's no one is really cheering on one side. Everyone is kind of just will you guys just shut up and just make sure we can go to the game somehow? This is annoying. It's been dragging on for so long, and if I was a Bears fan, I'd be a little bit worried about this ownership group. The McCaskies are still just a bunch of fail sons that have the stench of failure all around them. But Caleb and Ben Johnson represent the bright future. And the McCaskies represent their impotent, futile past. So it's just who's going to win? I don't know. Who do you think has more influence in the next couple of years? We'll see.
Man, what's wrong with Soldier Field? I like Soldier Field.
They mentioned that
cool.
It's the smallest and oldest facility in the NFL.
Oh no, it's still awesome though to go there.
It's iconic, and it's like, what are they gonna do? There's no discussion about what happens to Soldier Field after this move. Like, it's still gonna be sitting there. It's just, I don't know.
gonna fucking sit there. Yeah.
Seems like a waste.
Oh,
But
it's
yeah,
a huge waste.
As far as the Bears playoff chances, yeah, like I'd love to see a Bears playoff win. I think they could go on a little run in this weird NFC picture for sure.
Well, bear down. Just not
Bear
against
the
the
fuck
Eagles, please.
down. It's not against the Eagles.
Just not against the Eagles. That game on Saturday against the Packers is going to be very fun.
Man, I wish
it's
I'm gonna be.
It's in Chicago the Saturday before Christmas. The Bears have an opportunity to play the Grinch. Or no, I guess that would be the Packers have an opportunity to be the Grinch here, and steal their Christmas.
Yeah, the Grinch is one of the leaders in the offseason to get rid of the touch push. He wants it to be called the Grinch push.
See, that's really stupid. And he's definitely having sex with his dog. You can't convince me he's not. He's a bad man.
Somebody help that dog. How come all the... Never mind. I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
Discussion. I don't want to get distracted and blow a gasket. Now, the NFC has its question marks. So too does the American Football Conference, the younger conference. With Mahomes tore his ACL. Turns out in their loss last week to... Who were they playing last week? Shit, I don't even remember.
The Chargers?
Yes, the Chargers.
Yeah, it sucks that he got hurt, but also it's like I have no sympathy for him at the same time. Does that make me a bad guy?
I mean, I was at a Broncos bar watching the Packers-Broncos game, and when they flashed on the screen that the Chiefs were eliminated from playoff contention, the whole bar started like cheering and clapping and yelling and stuff. It was very funny. I mean, it's like a double whammy thing. Like, they're eliminated from the playoffs, they look like shit, and Mahomes goes down with a really bad injury that's going to keep him out most of next season. And I think ultimately, unfortunately, I think you can have a silver lining of this if you're a Chiefs fan, and that this forces the team to kind of do like a really quick pivot, sort of like half rebuild roster cleaning sort of moment, because they needed to do this. They were hanging on by a thread last season even, and only through like some miraculous play did they make the Super Bowl, only to get sledgehammered in the face by the Eagles. But that pushed the deadline back a little bit, how far they made it, and they were like, well, you know what, hey, let's run it back. They ran it back. It looked pretty bad for most of the season. Mahomes has had a couple of the worst games of his career this season. It ends in terrible fashion with him with this long-term injury. He's not going to be in another NFL game until probably December of next year or November of next year. Like, now they're forced to do the kind of like mid-career thing of a long tenured quarterback where they're like, you know what, we might kind of suck for a year. Maybe they get a top 10 draft pick, another top 15 draft pick like they're gonna have this year, and sort of turn it around like the Patriots did in the middle of Tom Brady's career when he got an ACL tear. I'm not the first person to make this comparison, but for years people have been making comparisons to the arc of Tom Brady and the arc of Mahomes, and this might be the beginning of the sort of second Chiefs dynasty, which would make me want to pull my hair out, what hair I have remaining on my old head. But this could be, I don't want to say a blessing in disguise. I don't want to be like dramatic or whatever, but like Chiefs fans are going to have to sort of grin and bear being kind of mid or act full on bad. And it could be a glorious return. We could be talking about 2027, 2028, Mahomes returning to MVP play, and they have like this fresh new roster that's just taking people's heads off all over again. Like, that's fully in the cards. Like, I'm not having the Chiefs' downfall funeral quite yet. I mean, it's awesome that they're not going to be in the playoffs. Like, that fucking rocks. Probably not going to be in the playoffs next year either. But it forces them to do the sort of pivot that they've been needing to do for a couple of years anyhow. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I'm not necessarily worried about a second Chiefs dynasty, right? Just because, like, we're seeing, like, this wave of like newer, younger talent and parity. I think the parity we're seeing in the league this year is a sign of like a major overhaul we're going to have in the league. I think they're going to be like some pretty competitive teams from year to year that weren't competitive the year before. It seems like teams have kind of figured out how to do like, you know, not like a full rebuild, but just like a reset.
Yeah.
And like, we're seeing that in Chicago right now. We've seen that, potentially like Detroit this year, a down year, they'll come back stronger next year. What the Colts were able to do with Daniel Jones, like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a surplus of young talent, like both on the roster side and like on the coaching side, the front office side. So I'm less concerned about another dynasty run, unless it's somehow the Eagles. That would be cool. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be the Birds. But yeah, fuck the Chiefs, fuck Mahomes. I'm sorry you hurt your knee. But you'll be fine. You already are fine.
The Rashee Rice got lit the fuck up again in that game. He has back-to-back weeks where he had some bone-crushing hits laid on him, which...
Good, he has it coming. He tried to kill a family with his car.
Yeah, I mean, imagine Rashee Rice being involved in a collision. Can you imagine?
Yeah, wild. And actually not being held accountable for it either.
And walking away from the scene of the crime. As far as the broader AFC picture, or a picture of a couple AFC broads. How about that?
Oh yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah, and twins.
Brittany Mahomes. Yeah, twin.
God, Brittany Mahomes. No, thank you.
AFC broad.
There's a whole Brittany Mahomes like subreddit, like a Brittany Mahomes snark subreddit that I was checking out, and I was like, oh, this is funny. Like, people really don't like her. And then it just like slowly just devolved into like being pretty racist and homophobic, and it was really gross. And I was like, all right, I got to get out of here. And like, I like, blocked the sub or anything. But then for like a week after, I was getting like weird, like vaguely alt-right like recommendations in my feed. Like, hey, you might like this Joe Rogan like subreddit. And it's like, oh no, I don't think so, man. No, thank you.
Playful racism on Reddit.com? Hold on.
Yeah, I know.
Now, hold on a minute.
I was really disappointed in the whole thing. Not my Reddit. I mean,
as not my hashtag my old.reddit.com. Still use it, baby. The Broncos are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Like,
yeah, they're the best. They're the best team in the entire league.
And yeah, I'm starting to get pretty cocky now, as we've been chronicling on this podcast. Many weeks I am sort of like ho hum on the Broncos in the early part of the season, but their performance against the Packers, especially Bo Nix and the defense, like it just like. I'm pretty confident saying that they're a Super Bowl favorite, at least in the AFC. Like, I haven't been more confident about that than all season. And frankly, I'm starting to get a little sick of these discussions about the Texans and the Jaguars as Super Bowl favorites. These loser franchises that have never accomplished anything. And I'll hit it to at least the Texans do have like a world beater defense. Like, their defense comes to play every week. I got a lot of respect for them. The offense of the Texans, I absolutely do not trust in any way in the playoffs. And the Jaguars, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is pretty much like a hot Kyler Murray, like a hotter, taller Kyler Murray, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't really. I
Something's
don't think
off about that boy.
He does not have a 2-game stretch in the NFL where he just looks really good on a play-to-play basis. It's still like maybe or 3 games, like again, not threatened by them at all. I get that the Texas defense is a really great story, I guess, for the regular season, but I'm starting to get pretty bearish on the Broncos, and I think they could go to the Super Bowl. Like, I don't see anyone in the AFC winning a game at Mile High Stadium in the playoffs. Like, it's not. I just really have a hard time imagining which AFC team pulls that off. When there's no healthy Patrick Mahomes, And Lamar Jackson might miss the playoffs. We can talk about him in a minute, but the Steelers, no. Texans, no. Jaguars, no. Chargers, no. Sorry.
You say Patriots already?
Patriots could be a dogfight. Patriots is probably the one that could give him the most trouble, but the Patriots defense is not good. Their defense their run defense especially, and even their secondary. Like we just saw the Bills have an amazing comeback against them last week, and you saw Mike Vrabel bitching and moaning about referees on some podcast afterwards. Mike Vrabel is a huge baby. He doesn't get enough shade for being like a huge whiny baby. He's like
I didn't realize that about him.
Mr. Tough Guy, old school football, but he low-key does piss and moan in the media a lot. So yeah, I would love to see a Patriots
Chargers Broncos would be a great playoff matchup, especially if it's at Mile High.
That'd be a great battle, and I believe they have the Broncos. I think their last game of the season is going to be against the Chargers, which will be. Yeah.
So this is wild. Can I the AFC seeding right now, if the playoffs started today, Broncos #1 seed, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But then like Patriots, Jags, Steelers, Chargers, Bills all the way down at #6.
Yeah.
And then the Texans at 7. We got the Colts on the bubble. If they win this weekend, they have a 25% chance to make the playoffs.
What about what's it say for the Ravens?
Ravens are the current 9 seed. If they lose, they have a 27% chance. If they win, they have a 47% chance. They currently, as of today, have a 39% chance.
Yeah. Let's get into Ravens Steelers because, boy, well, first of all, the Steelers eliminating the Dolphins from the playoffs last week. Thank you, Mike Tomlin, for getting Miami off the goddamn in the hunt graphic. I was getting really irked seeing that the past few weeks that they kept showing Miami on the in the hunt graphic, and I get why they have to. Obviously, mathematically, they were still in it, but it's just like we got to put an end to this Dolphins shit. Like it's not happening. They are now that there's no risk and nothing to play for in the season. Now McDaniels is like everything's on the table. I'm starting Quinn Ewers. It's like good dude. Nice attempt at salvaging the season when you are already eliminated. Great job.
Yeah, so is Tua getting benched for sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they named Ewers the starter over Zach Wilson.
He's done in Miami.
He should be,
but he has like a $99 million dead cap hit next year because they gave him that awful contract.
That's awesome. I mean,
and I think because we're seeing these contracts come to roost, Tua and Kyler. Is that going to like kind of dictate like a reshaping of the quarterback market? Like our team's going to be less willing to do these like longer, high annual average value contracts for like what are like perceived to be like elite or borderline elite quarterbacks, just because that's what the market dictates. Like,
I mean,
it's disasters with both of those, and then like, Trevor Lawrence, like, we got a huge contract after not doing shit. So the Jags could be in the same boat at the end of next season if things don't go well.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence gets chance after chance because of how bad. Because they keep switching between head coaches, and it keeps being like, well, he gets the chance to work with Trevor Lawrence, and now like 5 guys have been able to do that, and Liam Cohen's having, to be fair, the most success out of any of them. But I feel like Liam Cohen, I can't say these coaches' names right. Who I know, Lehman Coling, as I think deep down he knows Trevor's not gonna take him to the promised land, and I think he's got one more year. One more year of mid to bad Trevor play or playoff loss, he's gonna go to the front office and be like, "You want me or this guy that's been here for 9 years and has like 2 playoff wins? Make your choice." And I think they're gonna choose Lehman Koenig.
Trevor Lawrence looks like if one of the Hanson brothers fucked a gazelle.
Have you seen the picture of him holding a gun?
No,
There's a
I'm
really
looking
funny
right
picture of
now.
him. It's a funny picture of him from college, like holding like a little very small little handgun, like a little bandits from like a little cowboy bandit gun. It looks like a Derringer or something. Maybe I'll make that the cover photo this week. It's pretty funny. It's old though. I mean, he had a great college career. He's gonna keep getting chances. I mean, he's number one overall pick type talent, obviously. So maybe a change of scenery would do him good. But if it wasn't for the Bears, that we'd be talking about the Jaguars as the most ball hawking takeaway team in the league. But Bears are just having a legendary season. But Jacksonville's right up there. Jacksonville has a ton of interceptions too. So their defense is no pushover for sure. I don't think they're as good as the Texans or Broncos, but their defense is kind of the strength of their team.
I just don't know if I believe in the Jags. Like, I don't know if I like, you know
No.
what I mean? Like,
And in years past, I have. In years past, the Jags are always the team I fall for in the offseason, and they're my little pet team. But this year, I'm just kind of I can't keep doing it. I can't vouch for them this year. And it's the best they've looked in quite some time, I think. And I think most of that's due to Liam Cohen. I think Lawrence is going to have to get exposed, or prove it. He's either going to get exposed and moved on from, or finally break out of his shell after a 7-year-long intro, or 8-year, however long he's been in the league. It feels like so long.
so wait.
And then the Steelers. Just talk about a waste of everyone's time. I mean, the Steelers, they beat the Dolphins. You know, they're in first place, right? In the AFC North currently, and they're like the 4 seed or whatever it is. Yes, they currently are first place the AFC North over the Ravens, who they have a matchup with at the end of the year. The Harbaugh's definitely coaching for his game that game. Week 17, week 18, whatever that is, the last week of the season. Ravens at Steelers. Tomlin is safe, I think, even though obviously the Steelers team is just a complete waste of time, everyone's time for the past decade. They don't have a playoff win since 2016, which was a divisional round win over the Alex Smith Chiefs. That's the last time they've had a playoff win. The next season, they got a bye week and got 45 points dropped on their head by Blake Bortles and the Jags at Pittsburgh in the divisional round. And they haven't recovered since then. They're pretty much the Marvin Lewis Bengals of the 2020s. They make the wild card every year by barely being above 500 in that bullshit division, and then get clapped by a team that matters on Saturday at 1 p.m. Okay, nobody gives a shit anymore. But I think I think of how conservative that front office is and how like unwilling they are to make big moves, whether it's coaching moves or the only big move the Steelers are willing to make is to trade away a really good receiver that they drafted. See, they seem to every single year they draft a really good receiver, trade away their other receiver that they drafted that was really good, but is the locker room problem to another team where he flourishes. And then they go 9-7 and lose on Saturday wildcard weekend. Like, it's just a tale as old as time as far as this point. At this point, and I don't think until it gets to absolutely rock bottom, like they're getting a top 5 pick, only then will they fire Tomlin. I believe he's safe.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't want him to go anywhere because he's like a weird, like intense, bug-eyed freak.
Oh, I love him.
Like his eyes are always bulging out of his head. And he's always angry about something. He's always like trying to like scold younger players who are like dancing. Like he hates dancing. It seems like he's the entire town in that movie Footloose. He's like, I don't want these young cats dancing in a locker room when they could be praying to the Lord.
It brings Satan into our building.
Yeah. Building at his house. Great Christian men like Ben Roethlisberger. And Antonio Brown.
Patriots.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting. Black Monday is going to be kind of exciting this year. It's either going to be like it's going to be kind of a whirlwind, or I wouldn't be surprised if like there isn't a whole lot of movement because like the coaching market like isn't exactly as like buzzy and hyped up as it has been in years past. There aren't like exciting coordinators everyone's talking about. There aren't like these elite college coaches that are going to make a leap that's being speculated. So like That's why I wouldn't be surprised if like the Steelers hold on to Tomlin, and even if like there's like a modicum of safety for Mike McDaniel in Miami, just because of how he kind of was able to right the ship a little bit this year and like past
Yeah.
success, like he has like proven to be a competent like offensive coach, like a play caller and play designer. So I don't know, man.
If you're a Mike McDaniel defender, you can say the toxicity was brought on by Tyreek Hill, not Mike McDaniel, and let's see what he can do without Tua. You know, let's get him a real quarterback and see what he can do before we fire him. I guess if you want to defend McDaniel, you could say those things and be
I
right.
just think like the larger culture of the Dolphins organization too, that kind of starts from like the leader, like the owner down,
Yeah,
is pretty dog shit. And
that's
like,
always what it comes down to.
but hey, that's Hollywood for you, baby. I
That's
got nothing.
why that's show business. Yeah, and I think even as for me, even if the Bills are the 7th seed or whatever, with you, I still think that they're as long as they have Josh Allen, I'm not counting them out. Like I think they could win 3 road games and go to the Super Bowl. If any team in the AFC could do that, it's them. It's everything. The stars seem to be aligning for them if they could, especially if they could snatch away the AFC East at the last second from the Patriots. It would be a godsend. But even if they aren't able to pull that off, just get in the tournament with Josh Allen and see what you can do. Because I don't know.
Yeah, he can be quite the magician. That defense is so bad though, especially against the run. And in the playoffs, teams are going to try and run it down your throat to control the clock.
They have played a little bit better than recent weeks, but yeah, that is their weak spot.
I wouldn't mind seeing McDermott get fired just because I think he's a prick. Crying about player safety and the tush push, and then running the tush push like more than any other team. I think the Bills have run the tush push this year more than the Eagles.
And famously,
or it goes back and forth. Yeah,
blowing
and
it
like
at the biggest part of the game last year in the playoffs.
yeah, the tush push is kind of dead though too. Anyway, like I don't know. I think it's just gonna kind of fizzle out. It's not like this unstoppable play anymore. Like it hasn't. There have been a few times that hasn't worked this year in like high leverage situations. So like, what I like about the tush push that the Eagles are doing at least are all like the trick plays they run out of that formation. Like running a sweep to your tight end is really cool.
Yeah.
Shit like that. I think that's advantageous in that sense. But like, come on, I don't think it's like this big thing everyone's cried about.
The Steelers last week were doing it with Cam Hayward, doing a wild card.
Yeah,
a wild cart snap to Hayward with a tush push sort of looking type play. So people are getting creative. A Bills Broncos game would be really sick in the playoffs.
That would be, especially at Mile High in the snow. Oh yeah, give me a snow game at Mile High in the playoffs. God damn, I'm like 14 again.
I haven't had that in
I love that shit.
a while.
That shit.
There was the late season snow game against the Patriots in like 2015. That was really cool. Or 2016.
Yeah, that one was cool.
CJ Anderson game-winning touchdown. That was sick.
What else is going on?
I mean, do you want to talk about Philip Rivers before we do the picks?
Yeah, I think so while I was at the park with my daughter, she was playing with this group of little girls and they were like having a blast, and I was doing that thing where it's like I'm trying to look like I'm not just staring at a group of kids, like I'm like keeping busy. I'm like sitting on the bench, you know. But I was watching my daughter. And I did have the Colts game on, and I was like taking little peeks here and there, and it was like fun to see him throw a touchdown pass. And like he does look pretty, like if you look at pictures of him now and like pictures from 5 years ago when he last played, like he is a lot beefier. So I don't know. It's fun. It's like it's definitely putting me in the Christmas spirit to see like a fat, beefy Philip Rivers running around out there. I think it's very cool and good. And I don't think that they're gonna like. I don't think he's going to lead them to any wins. I think that you probably see the Notre Dame kid, Riley Leonard, start if he can, just because he's younger and has been in that building all season. Unless they think Philip Rivers gives them a better chance to win and make the playoffs. But like, it's just so sad how far the Colts have fallen. Like the first half of the season, like they were such a good story, and like I don't know. I feel like the NFL, especially, it's like the narratives are the best. And And then when you have like you see like a cool like redemption or comeback story, it's like genuinely heartwarming to me. And like the Daniel Jones narrative has been great, and like he's definitely played himself into another contract. And like if that's with it's probably with the Colts. It's most likely a franchise tag or like a little 2-year deal or like 3-year deal that's very front loaded and has an out after the first year. Um, so he's gonna get a huge bag, and that's cool. He'll have money for the rest of his life, and like he deserves that after having to suffer like his career's demise and like this like I don't want to say self destruction, but just like the dismantling of like his potential by the Giants organization, who they just ruined fucking everybody. And like everyone's really excited about Jackson Dart, but like I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think that's going to kind of blow up on everybody,
Oh boy.
especially with how he plays. Um, he does not protect himself. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like it's fun now. Um,
He's the white
but
too.
when the wheels start to fall off, um, the New York media is going to rip him to shreds. And like, I'm interested to see how this thing with the owner goes too, because I've been saying all season, like, as long as the Colts are winning, your weird, like, dead-eyed owner, like, standing on the sideline in like a $4,000 Balenciaga sweatshirt is like cool. But I see through that, and I just see somebody being intensely cold and controlling and micromanaging, wearing a fucking headset. Like every time
I think you muted yourself on accident.
yeah, I'm here. Sorry, an alarm went off on my phone. I don't know why.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some serious potential here, especially if like things continue to fall apart for the Colts. That like we're going to see another side of this owner. And like owners meddling is never a good thing, right? That's always a sign of a very dysfunctional franchise. Like look at the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Colts were a fun story. They're still kind of a fun story because you have a 44-year-old grandpa throwing touchdown passes. They can technically make the playoffs, probably won't, but I don't know. It's nice to see old Phil be under center once more. It makes me feel like a kid again.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, they really almost won. There wasn't a single touchdown score in that whole game, I don't think. So, but that might be the easiest. Well, not the easiest, but they have 3 tough games coming up. They play the 49ers at home, Jaguars at home, and then at Texans. That's just not going to be fun. Philip Rivers really looked like he didn't have the great arm. He didn't have the best arm strength that late in his career in the first place. And now after 5 years of atrophy, he really had trouble driving the ball. You could tell. I just saw it just now. I just Googled that Riley Leonard is cleared from injury. He's back to practicing, and Richardson was also designated to return to practice. So like they're trying to get reinforcements in there. I don't think starting Philip Rivers against the Houston Texans is a fucking good idea. Like that's a recipe for disaster, frankly. So if they can avoid that, I would. I mean, maybe if the playoffs are on the line, I don't know who gives you the best chance to win in that one. That's tough. That's going to be kind of scary to watch, but I just hope I hope it's not a sad ending for Philip Rivers. And it's a shame because this team looked like the best team in the NFL for the first like 5 weeks of the season.
Man. Yeah, I was crazy. Really getting behind the Colts. It was a really fun thing to see. But hey, who knows? It's football. Crazy fucking things happen. What if like the old man and Anthony Richardson both kind of lead them? Like they went out somehow, and other teams lose, and they make the playoffs and become a scrappy team in the playoffs. Like it's not going to happen. Like I wouldn't bet $1 on it, but it would be fun, and it's still a possibility. So a player can dream.
A player can dream. Do you want to pick him real quick?
I want to pick him. I don't want to stick him, but I do want to pick him. I'm a married man, Anthony.
No sticking. Now tonight, we're recording this on Thursday. There's a big ass game. This is for all the marbles in the NFC West. Seahawks at Rams. 2 Super Bowl favorites that we just talked about. You're going Hawks?
Fuck this up. I'm going Seahawks. Do not fuck this up, Sam Darnold. Fuck the Rams. Fuck Matt Stafford. Really want to see that big chiclet-toothed fucking loser eat shit. The worst thing that could happen is the Rams winning the Super Bowl, Matt Stafford getting to retire, a Super Bowl winner, and then like Clayton Kershaw is there and they're hugging on the field. That would make me fucking sick.
Oh
So,
God.
the Rams are plotting an act of domestic terrorism, and the Seahawks are the last line of defense. True patriots that need to step up and send these boys back to wherever they came from.
The Patriots are in control. I'm gonna pick the Rams. Unfortunately, sorry. I just gotta
Yeah, because you
gotta
love
go.
domestic
Got,
terrorism. I've seen your Timothy McVeigh poster.
gotta go with the Rams. But real quick, actually, an update to our picks math here. Not a great week for either of us last week, really. You went 8-6. I went 9-5. Your total now is 108.63 for 63.2 winning percentage. I'm 124-61 for a
Damn.
67% win percentage.
You're pulling away. What's my punishment gonna have to be?
Your punishment is you have to eat 100 pancakes, but you have the rest of your life to do it. You don't have to do it in one night or anything. It's just whenever
Okay,
you feel
cool.
like it.
I honestly, hey, if my wife's making them, I could probably do that on a Sunday morning, brother.
Hey,
She makes real good pancakes.
the next game, there's a couple games on Saturday this week for whatever reason. I guess to take away college sort of eyeballs. Eagles at Commanders is going to be probably kind of a stinker. I feel like the Eagles should easily win this.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Commanders. I'm not picking the Eagles to win the rest of the year. Yeah, no, I'm not picking. I don't care if it's going to fuck my record or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm probably not going to watch. I'm probably going to be doing Christmas stuff with my family. Yeah, so Commanders are going to win this one. I'm not. I'm picking against the Eagles every week and not watching, and then that will make them win. It's out of love.
Okay, yeah, sort of a Hail Mary move here at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm
going Eagles. Commanders are not really anything. I don't like what I see from them. The night game on Saturday, it's a shame I'm going to miss this one. I'll be out at work. Packers at Bears, probably like we said, the most important Bears regular season game in probably 10 years or more. I'm going Bears. Since I think the Micah Parsons injury is the difference, and I'm picking the Bears again for like the 15th straight week.
I'm gonna go Packers. I need the Packers. I need the Bears to kind of lose here. I don't. I can't have the Bears getting like the 2 seed or what a 3 seed. They're at the 2 seed right now. Let me double check that. Yeah, Eagles are the 3 seed. Bears. I need the Bears to kind of collapse here. To have like good mental health. So, but everything David said in our group chat, I agree with. About the Bears and their fans. He knows what's up. So let's
another interesting. Just that I'm going with the Bears again, obviously, but another interesting wrinkle from last week's picks we did. For whatever reason, we didn't do. I think I just skipped him mentally. The Texans Cardinals game. We didn't pick that game. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, but
yeah, well, fuck both those teams.
I noticed that. I was like, oh, you know what? Good. Fuck it. We would have.
Yeah.
We would have taken the Texans.
It's just shit versus piss. Who you got?
Next, it's Sunday. We're on to the Sunday games now. Chargers at Cowboys.
Ooh, I got Chargers in this one. The Cowboys are in full-on implosion mode.
You think?
They lost. They lost to 9.
Yeah.
And they were showing like before the game, it was like, I love this guy, JJ McCarthy. Look at the class he has. And it was like him like high-fiving all these cops.
I saw that too.
They lost to that guy. And then Chris Collinsworth was like, that's awesome. Like, yeah, just brave men and women that shoot dogs and beat up their spouses.
And take 20 minutes to respond to actual emergencies. The person, yeah.
Yeah. And then act like indignant that you called them to do their job. And like you reluctantly called them for a reason. I'll
go Chargers too. I think the Cowboys have kind of lost the will to live since they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, they're technically not eliminated. They have like a 1% chance or something crazy. But fuck them.
They're in the hunt. They're in the hunt, baby.
They are living in a prison of their own design. And long live Jerry.
Now we've got 9 coming to town, coming to East Rutherford to take on the Giants. It's gonna be Vikings at G-Men.
Oh, could you imagine? Like, I have like the Sunday ticket thing. Could you imagine choosing to watch this?
Yeah, God bless the people who are. If you're not getting paid to watch this, you. God,
If I was a fan, if the Eagles were like in either of these situations, I would not watch that game. I'd be like, oh, all right, I got a free Sunday morning now. I guess since I technically have to pick it, I'm gonna pick the Vikings. Because like I don't know, at least JJ McCarthy and their dumb coach are trying to like prove that they deserve their job, so they're gonna play hard. That's kind of what you saw against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vikings for me.
And that was the Cowboys are a team that needed to win and had something to play for. The Giants have absolutely nothing to play for. And Mike Kafka looks like he's really in over his head, even just being an interim. I kind of feel bad for the Giants, honestly. So I'm going Vikings too. What a mess! Another mess bowl here. Bengals at Dolphins. My God.
Ugh,
Jesus
Bengals.
criminy.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers isn't gonna do anything. Mike McDaniel's coaching for his job, which means he's gonna fuck it up somehow.
Everything's on the table.
I'm gonna go Bengals. I hope that Joe Burrow quits feeling so depressed. Now he knows what it's like to be a Joe Burrow fan, I guess.
Yeah, this would be a disastrous loss for the Bengals if they can't take care of business here.
I want him to live his truth and just come out and live loud and proud and be free. I really want that. And I'm not being shitty or homophobic. I want that for him because I do think that he is probably gay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be great to have a good looking, respected NFL player who's also openly gay. That would do so much to advance just civil rights for an entire group of people.
In the NFL, whenever there's going to be an openly gay quarterback, he's still going to be an anti-vaxxer, right-wing Trump guy somehow. So.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to be that Milo guy.
Hell yeah, dude. This is a game that is actually quite meaningful, but I don't know if I have the stomach for it. Buccaneers at Panthers. This one could be ugly. Baker's been really struggling the past few weeks. I can't believe it's hard to remember when he was an MVP candidate earlier in the season, and the Panthers just seem to kind of squeak by when they, when you don't expect them to, even though they did lose to the freaking Saints last week. These are two really weird teams. This is going to be a really weird game, and I'm going with the Panthers. Oh boy,
I'll go Panthers too. Yeah, Baker's he's obviously playing hurt, not playing very well. Let's go Panthers.
Poor Panthers. Boy, okay. We really got spoiled last week because there are some real just stinkers this week. Coming up next, it's Jets at Saints. My goodness gracious. Give us something.
Saints, I guess.
Ugh.
No, I don't really have anything else to say about that. Saints, I guess.
I'm gonna go Saints too. Saints at least have a little bit of juice. That's gonna be a hideous one. Okay, a little bit of showing signs of life here. Bills at Browns. I'll go Bills.
Bills.
Oh, this needs to be a statement win. This needs to be a big sort of ass beating. Can't have another close call. Buffalo, get it together. Chiefs at Texans. Or sorry. Chiefs at Titans, rather. Gardner Minshew is going to be starting this one.
Yeah, he'll throw for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You're going Chiefs?
I'm going to go Chiefs. Yeah, I'm not picking the Titans.
Yeah, Titans seems like they only win games on accident. It's like they are trying to lose and they accidentally win. That's how bad they are. But yeah, they will lose this one. Jaguars at Broncos. I need to see the Broncos really take care of business in this one. I'm getting like I said earlier, the cute little Jaguars Super Bowl contender conversations getting real old. I need the Broncos to squash this. I'm going Broncos by 15.
Yeah, Broncos.
Broncos.
Broncos easy. I don't think they lose another game unless it's like a week 18, like they have the 1 seed wrapped up
Oh yeah,
and they
like a
sit a
start
bunch of guys.
a
Yeah,
B team game.
But also like Jared Stidham can win one game for you. So
He had some interesting little moments in the preseason and at the end of last season, if people recall. Bird Bowl coming up here. Falcons at Cardinals. This is another stinker of two teams that are going absolutely nowhere.
Falcons.
God, I'm going Cardinals just to be annoying here. Because Falcons are like a bizarro team that never do what you think. So gonna just go to coin flip there. Raiders at Texans. This might be a hospital game for the Raiders. There's no way they can. Geno Smith's got to be done at this point, right? Like you can't keep playing him. Like just cut your losses and start Aiden O'Connell or whatever or whoever else. Like
yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really bad and weird. I don't know who's going to play quarterback for them. This is like one of those late season Raiders games that doesn't matter. Texans by a million. I just don't even really care.
Hopefully we'll have a nice bounce back week in our picks this week because there's some real lopsided affairs happening this week. Here's sort of an interesting one: Steelers at Lions. I think this one might be a bit of a dogfight. I'm gonna go Lions.
I'm gonna go Lions as well. I think this is where the wheels fall off for the Steelers, and more to say on that with our next pick.
Yeah, so this is the Sunday night game. Has a lot of playoff implications and should actually be good. Patriots at Ravens.
I'm picking the Ravens to win this one. I think the Steelers lose to the Lions, and that gives the Ravens some fucking juice. And they come out there. They're at home. The Patriots can definitely be a very vulnerable team at times. They're young. This is probably like their best window to win, so they're motivated. Drake May is playing like an MVP lately, which is nuts to have to admit. Vrabel, another one of those guys that I didn't realize he was such a whiny little baby. That's disappointing because he's definitely a coach of the year candidate right up there.
Yeah, he should be. He should be.
But I'm going to pick the Ravens. I think the Ravens go on a little playoff push here, and it starts against the Pats at home on Sunday night.
I'm going Patriots. I think the Ravens collapse under the bright lights, as they so often do. I think the Patriots. I think Drake May drops a bomb on him. I think Drake May has a huge game on this Patriots defense. This Ravens defense that's pretty vulnerable, and Harbaugh is left clawing at excuses afterwards. And this week we'll wrap up with the Monday night game. Going to be another tough watch. 49ers at Colts. Philip Rivers trying to go for it again.
This is such a good game.
Oh yeah. Week 1, this is a great game.
Yeah. I think the Colts lose this one. I don't want them to. But look, Colts defense is good, and the Niners defense is bad. So you kind of have bad versus good on both sides here. I think that the Colts could exploit the Niners defense with a really solid run game and control the ball. I think there is a way that the Colts win this game. I would certainly love to see the Niners lose. I don't know who's starting at quarterback. Do we not know yet?
For the Niners?
For the Colts.
I would assume Rivers. I think I don't know if anything's been officially announced, but just the fact that Riley Leonard being cleared to practice doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start.
Yeah, Rivers is starting. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to pick the Colts.
Whoa!
Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but it's my pick.
Sometimes you just gotta say fuck it. I'm sticking with the 49ers. I think this is going to be another. It might be another similar game where it's all field goals and the defense kind of plays them all right, and then Christian McCaffrey rips off a 70-yarder at the fourth quarter to sort of be the dagger. I think is how it ends up. Well, that's gonna be week 15. Week 16 in the NFL are what we think is going to happen. Well, folks, that's it for us. Signing off. Tony Ballgame for Jake the Snake.
Enjoy some average football this weekend, guys. We're at that part of the year where it's like, I'd rather be watching preseason than some of this garbage.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, probably some of these matchups they thought was going to be good early in the season. They're not. Okay, so Broncos Jaguars. Look, one of the best games of the week. Nothing's going to top Seahawks Rams, so that'll be a barn burner. Wish I could watch it. Sayonara, folks.